Good morning, everybody. Back in some Enshrouded. I am Great Sky River. It's been a while. I had some issues with my recording software. For some reason, it just kept turning off every time I would record. It would just like turn right back off, and it wasn't due to a memory issue. It was something with my memory card. But we're back. I have some stuff to do. It's been a while. I did some things off camera. As you can see, I got a new look. I look like a vagabond castaway right now because we are in the Veil of the Water. Is it the Veil of the Water? Wake of the Water. I'm sorry, Wake of the Water update. We have water and we have some new stuff. So I decided to go with a kind of a castaway look, but I still have my armor and stuff, since the castaway stuff is just for cosmetic looks. Didn't really do too much since the last time. I gathered a lot of stuff. I got some new blocks and stuff from the that had to do with the update. I went around and got all our animals for farming so we can build a nice barn. I think that's the next thing we're gonna do, because this is very unsightly to have this all up here. So we're gonna do that. These are the birds that came around when they did the nighttime kind of update, like the what was it, when they added night sanctums and stuff. Oh, that guy's kind of, these guys are kind of loud, man. Damn. So yeah, we got to do that. All this water here needs to be replaced. We got 27 survivors now altogether at the base. Yeah, so we're gonna replace this ice. We're gonna take all this ice out. And I'm going to do that off camera because this natural part is going to be a pain in the neck. I got to do it in a certain way so that water doesn't leak out or drain away to somewhere and dissipate. So we got to see how that is. Look at these guys. These are the fade deer, but they don't look like deer. They look like kind of like cats, right? They look like big cats. Look, they got clawed feet. They got like the caracal type of long ears. They got feline faces. And they're purring. They're purring like cats do. So they don't look like deer to me. I don't know why they're fey deer. More like cat things. So I'm going to look over here. You can see we already started taking the ice out of this one. So I think this will be okay. We just gotta fix up the sides here a little bit, because the water does do weird stuff. When it goes like underneath, like spots like this, like overhangs, for some reason it thinks it's flowing, so it makes like loud flowing noises. These canals with the brick in them, these will be pretty easy to do, because all I gotta do is just take the ice out and put brick on the floor and just seal it in. So I did like a test piece over here. Let's see what kind of disaster we got going on. Okay, nothing. So if you look here, I took the ice out of this, and I put a spigot of water up there, because that's how it works now. It's a water dispenser. Kind of see it right there off to the side. Water flows down, comes down here, hits this thing, flows off to either side where there's some drains in there to drain it away. So yeah, in order to make a feature like this, you would need a water spigot, and you would need a drain at the bottom. I put 2 drains here just because the water goes to both sides. Now, when I first built this, the water was behaving a little bit differently. Like this was looking a little bit more wavy versus straight up and down. Like it looked like it was waving as it went down. And the volume of water was such that it was almost at the top of these brick things. Right? And this brick floor right here was actually one level down. And it was doing this weird, like what it's doing now, where the water's like making this kind of like V shape, but it's so there's no water here, but there's water, like a full water here and here. So I added this layer of brick, and it fixed it for a while, but then it stopped doing it. Then they updated the water a little bit, and they did some weird things. So now if I happen to go back, let's see, I can't get up there. So if I hang out back here, like where these animals are for too long, it's almost like the drains at the bottom are out of render, but the spigot isn't. and so the water kind of starts to fill up and overflow until I get back over here and the drains take over again and start unflooding it. So it's a little bit of a weird situation that's happening. And it's hard to catch it. I have to be over there like a long time to do it. And then what ends up happening is this overflows off to the side here. Alright, so I ended up putting 2 more drains at the top here, in addition to the drains that you see down there. Still not working like it should. So I put drains in the ground over here. One there, and then I think there's one down here. Because then what happens is the water floods and it comes all the way down here and starts to fill in this spot down here. And then this whole area down here becomes like a little mini lake. So the first time it happened, it flooded all the way... Let's see, all the way to about right here. You see where this like little spot gets a little bit steeper going back up? So the water doesn't really follow physics correctly, so you have like water pooled up here, even though there's a slope that goes downward and it won't flow down. So yeah, all this had water in it. And the funny thing is that this water was way higher than what's over here. Because I was standing here, about here, and the water was at my feet. And I was watching that rock and that tree right there, which were underwater, and I was like trying to gauge the level of the water to see how fast it was going down and if it was going down. And for some reason, the water followed the pathway up, all the way up there, but it didn't flood all the way up to where my head is, for whatever reason. So it acted like the water went up there, but acted like it was like like an uphill stream, like a weird uphill stream. And the same thing over here. Like, so even after the drains took over and fixed the actual drain area, we still had like a big puddle of water. Look, you can still see a little bit right here. So yeah, so we had a pool of water here that was slowly flowing down that way, but it wasn't dissipating up here. And meanwhile, it was just a puddle. It wasn't getting no more feed from up there. So that's something that we have to look out for. Another thing that I did was I moved this altar. So before the altar was here, it was a full level 4 altar. It was here, but it was overlapping. So, you know, we got this, this is like kind of like the border for that one over there, this spot right here. And so, because the cliff was here, I ended up placing the altar here, but then I pushed it back to where it's supposed to go. So technically, if you count the altar as, say you count the altar as 1 floor tile, right? So see, the altar is the size of 1 floor tile, right? So if you were to connect the floor to the altar there and keep going all the way to the edge of a level 4, you will get 19 floors, right? And the 19th floor will have about, like, say the altar is the 19th floor, you will have about this much space between the edge of the floor and the edge of the level 4 boundary. So 19 floors. So yeah, so a level 4 flame is not quite 20 floors. So it's 20 floors plus, if you count the flame, where the flame is, it's 1 floor, right? 1 floor and then 19 more, which makes 20 on a side, plus like a row or 2 extra, right? So keep that in mind if you want to take a level 4 flame and put it next to another level 4 flame. So the easiest way to do that is to have your level 4 flame, then take a level 1 flame and place it so that it's, you know, like touching. Then upgrade that so that it's a level 2 flame, and then you'll have enough space to add all your 24, not your 24, your 19 from your flame that you're starting from to the new flame. You'll have your 24 blocks, and you can place the new flame and upgrade it to 4, which is what I did there. I also we don't have the salt mine in the back anymore because I added another flame on that side. So yeah, all this water here is going to get replaced. So let's come back here. So we still have salt that we can scoop up, but it will no longer generate more salt after this. So this edge right here is where that flame border ends. The flame border ends here, and this is where the new flame starts. So this is one panel, then you had 2, then you had 3, then you had 4, alright, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and then 19. You know what I'm saying? So from border to flame, it's 19. That's a full level 4 flame. Okay, and I started going back that way. So with this, I now have, let's look at our map. Okay, so before, this back altar was out here more, and so the line literally went like just here, right? So that was the edge of our border up on top of this cliff, right? So here. Okay, so it went like that. Right? Now we have like back here. So this flame shrine that's here, like we just cut off like the edge. Like that, just cut into like our flame edge goes right over the edge of the flame shrine, and it's still active. So we have all this giant cliff top area. We have this whole space back here because the this flame sanctum's back here, and this altar just clips that one. Right, and this one's back here. It brings us all the way to the top, almost to the edge of where the hollow hall's doors are. We do encompass the skeleton tomb that's down here, so that's probably going to be no longer active. Yeah, and then I think what I'm going to do is we're going to use a 5th flame, and we're going to place it over here somewhere so that we get this whole section as well, and then we can just basically like wall this off, and we'll have this whole valley. So yeah, we'll wall this off here where the bottleneck starts, and then we'll wall that off here, and we'll have this whole valley. And that'll be like a cool build. So one of the things that came was we get a water mill that we can use because we got a new mill grinder. Right? So you see that up there. Ooh, it's very stormy out. So yeah, those were the grinders that we used to have, the hand grinder. So now, we go back and look. So I built this. I put the picture on the side that I got as an inspiration. So we'll do like a side by side. I put the picture over here in the corner. You can see the windmill, the vanes themselves are kind of small for this build. If they give us the bigger ones later, I'll definitely swap it out, but you can see by the picture that this should definitely have a bigger veins. It also has a smaller porch on the back, but I had to put this bigger one with a different kind of roof. The one in the picture has, you can't really see by the picture, but the original one, it's like a 3D model that you can spin around and look at it. The porch has a pitched roof as well, rather than a hip roof or an awning type roof. But I had to make it do it that way just because of the way I built the interior. But yeah, these are the new. We have new roof blocks, right? So we got a couple different new blocks too. We also got a new kind of this half timber type block that's made with like shell limestone. So this is the grinder. Let's see, do we have anything in there? Nothing's in there at the moment. Do we have anything we can grind? Nothing we can grind. But yeah, this turns around. See this turning around. And then what I did was I took the what do you call it? These things. So I took some of these signpost poles and then 2 of these support struts, right? So I put one support strut here to make it look like it's part of the spindle. Because it's got kind of does wireless. You just put the windmill blades up, and then this thing just works. You know, you just got to make sure it's close enough so that it does. What is it? See this like force power over here? You got to make sure it has force power. Otherwise, it doesn't work. So up here, I just did that. I added a second one. As you can see, it kind of sticks out just a little bit, but it goes all the way to the top. And then I used the signpost poles to extend these support things, so it looks like they're connected to the ceiling. And then I used also 2 more signpost poles to be like the axle for the windmill blades. And we didn't have anything that was like wheels that we could use as gears. So I had to use the cheat engine along with the builder's companion data table. So these 2 things are actually more of these signpost poles that I crafted. And then I used the cheat engine to swap them to these hand crank wheels. So these are, if you're like someplace, sometimes in the Shroud or in some of the villages, there's like these things that look like they're grinding up mycelium, like these big mycelium grinders looking things. And those are the, look like the hand cranks that are on them. So I just used 2 of those. I used the cheat engine to turn 2 fence post poles into those things, and then use those just to look like it's some sort of gear going on there. Yep, and you got yourself like a nice little porchy porch. Got your 2 gables going on. Got the steep roof. It's a 1 over and 3 up slope. So it goes 1 over and then 1, 2, 3 up. And then 1 over, 1, 2, 3 up, and so on. And you get that steeper roof. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell. We're going to keep it short. This thing is going to be a water feature. So what's going to happen here is we're going to seal this off at this level. We're going to close this all off at this level. I'm going to make sure it's nice and watertight, and I'm going to fill it with water. I'm going to have like a nice little water feature back here. And then the next step is going to be a barn. A barn or some sort of farming animal facility. So I'm also doing a little something over here too, trying something out. Don't know about this yet. We'll see. Also, one last sad thing. Jeff the Spoder is no longer here, guys. Now, whatever this last water update did, it brought some of these cocoons back. But they don't spawn anything. Which is quite annoying. No, that's about all they do. They pop and then all the spiders go away. That's about it. Hey. So, we got more houses to build. We got some more stuff. We got all our blocks and all our new stuff to build. All our base. We got our new people here, so we don't have to venture forth for anything. Most of the main missions are done. I got most of the heads. I just got to go back to Pikesmead Peak. Pike. I got to go back to the Pike to kill the Wisp Wyvern or whatever the hell it's called for another head, and then I could have a trophy head. That's the only head that I'm missing so far. Alright, well, thanks for watching. And we'll get back to it soon. I also got a No Man's Sky video in the works as well for those who like to watch that. Alright guys, thank you for watching. See you later.